Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, right. Okay, let's see. Here. Right. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in this webinar. I think everything I've heard up to now has, well, I've learned a lot, right? Because I'm just quite recent in this context. But anyway, here I am to present the experience at the Complutense University. And let's see, can you see the presentation? Yeah, no.
We can see the PPT.
Okay. Right. To start with, I would like to present the information that we have already available online, and also the structure of this unit. The diversity and inclusion unit depends on the rector's delegation for diversity and inclusion, who works together with the Vice Rectorate for Students' Affairs. And it is here in the Vice Rectorate for Students' Affairs where we find study programs, which are online, both in Spanish and in English. Also, within the Rector's Delegation for Diversity and Inclusion, we have the Diversity and Inclusion Unit webpage. And within that unit, we find the social cultural diversity area, where we deal with forced migrations and refugees. That is the web page where you may find all the information I'm going to give you now. For example, here we have the welcome plan, both in Spanish and in English. The services that we have, personalized attention according to each student's situation and context, the welcome plan for refugees, and the partners we collaborate with. Also, we have on our web page, we have the online forms and applications I'm going to talk about, the pre-registration form, the continuity application, and of course you may download the main features of the welcome plan for this year, where you may find frequently asked questions, procedures, required documents, and more detailed information. Okay, let me, okay, once I presented you the structure and the information we have available online, let me introduce you to the goals of this welcome program. We have three goals. The first one is to contribute to guarantee the right of refugees to access higher education from a diversity approach, to recover and acknowledge scientific potential, and to promote the social welcome capacity from the diversity perspective. Our action lines are four. The first one is focused on socio-educational attention. That is to provide support to students and researchers in their access and in their full inclusion process at the Complutense University. The second one is dedicated to the promotion and welcome actions for refugees, awareness-raising activities, and dissemination of information within the university community. The third action line is it concerns the support and promotion of groups and lines of research about forced migration and refuge that take place at the Complutense. And the fourth one concentrates on fostering cooperation, collaboration, and initiatives with experts, associations, civil society, and public administration. The welcome plan has two parts. On the one hand, the program offers guide and support in the process of inclusion into the university life. And on the other hand, it provides economic aids. In the case of this first part, guiding and supporting the people in the process of inclusion into the university life, this is done mainly through socio-educational attention and counsel. We provide psychological and health attention in the Complutense's clinics and services. We also provide Spanish courses to strengthen the applicant's knowledge of Spanish, and also we offer the possibility of translations of documents if needed. Then, in relation to economic aids, the program may cover public official fees and taxes, any other academic taxes, and accommodation and upkeep fees at the Complutense's halls of residence. Okay. The welcome plan is framed within the institutional context of 4 statements whose main ideas are shared in the white paper. And within the Complutense, the welcome program is related, and its related economic aids began to be articulated with the setting of the program in the academic course 2015-2016. Then the service began its actual work in the course 2016-2017. It was in this year, 2017, when the social board approved the program, really. However, this program has been functioning since the course 2016 up to now. The average amount of euros for the program is 100,000 euros that come from the Vice Rectorate for Students' Affairs and is given to the Diversity and Inclusion Unit. In the course 2016-2017, the program attended 12 people, which was a good start. And the number of applicants increased with the time, with a dramatic decrease in the course 2020, 2021, and 2022, but that was due to the pandemic conditions. But now, for this course, we already have 22 applicants already, so increasing again. The welcome program for refugees has 2 main initial situations as a starting points. We have applicants with previous university studies and those that want to begin a bachelor's degree. In both cases, the first step officially is homologation or legalization of previous studies. In the case of people coming with previous studies, we may have two possibilities. That those studies are already were already initiated in their countries, or those studies are already finished. In those cases, in the case of people with studies already initiated in their countries, they may go to, they may take undergraduate studies. In that case, they have to pass the process of pre-registration and admission at the Complutense, and then they come to the unit and register and contact with the unit to initiate the program, the access to the program for refugees. In the case of students with already finished studies, they may access master or doctoral studies. And in that case, again, first of all, they have to be pre-registered and admitted at any at the Complutense, and then once they are admitted, they come to the unit to register and initiate the program for the access to the program for refugees. In the case of people who come to begin a bachelor's degree, in that case, apart from the previous homologation or legalization of previous studies, they have to take the Open University exam, specifically the specific competency test. And then again, they have to pre-register in any official degree at the Complutense, and then they come to the unit to start the access to the program. This is a general approach to how the program, how to access the program according to the different initial situations that we usually attend. We need to access to the program several, we need several elements and take several steps. First is to be admitted or pre-register. We need a certified B2 level of Spanish. The stateless asylum, international protection status, or the like. It may also be the case of being an international protection applicant. And that means that person has to have the red card or the white card with date of issue. Also, we require a socio-economic report from an NGO or from social services. We also require documents that may prove the social and economic personal situation of the applicant, any income tax return, work contract, unemployment certificate, whatever. Applicants have to write a motivation letter specifying the reasons to study the requested degree at the Complutense, and also to ask for why they ask for access to the refugee program. And the last step is the personal interview. With all these elements, we write an individualized report that is passed to an evaluation commission that decides whether the applicant may access the program or not. Among all these elements, only the first two are really directly connected to academic recognition issues. Here you have the online pre-registration application form. Now everything is done online, and we provide support for filling these forms and with the different documents they may need. They need. Okay. Being more specific on the two routes that we consider to access the program, we may see that when the applicants want to begin a bachelor's degree, apart from the red card or white card with date of issue, or the international protection status, they are to be less than 25 years old and have the secondary education completed. Then what we need is the baccalaureate certificate, which may be requested to the Education and Vocational Studies Ministry or to the Regional Education Department. Students that may prove they requested the homologation of the baccalaureate certificate may be admitted provisionally while the homologation process is in progress. Also, they have to take the Open University exam. But if we don't have one of these things, then no access may be provided. Then in the case of having previous studies, university studies, apart from the status certificate, those studies that are to be taken at the Complutense should be equivalent to the university degree that they took in their original countries. That is, a person who has studied business in his or her country cannot take medicine or chemistry at the Complutense. In this case, apart from the homologation of the studies, which may be requested again to the Education and Vocational Studies Ministry, this documentation would allow us to provide access permit to postgraduate studies at the Complutense. Without the ministry homologation of the degree, we may request partial validation of the studies. This partial validation of the studies is something that is done at the university, right? So it takes a process, an internal to the university process. First of all, the syllabus and the subjects, any documentation that we have about the previous studies goes to faculties, where there are commissions for validation of academic records. They study the documents and try to find equivalences. Then the suggestions from those commissions passed to the validation office that verifies the legal validity of the presented documents. And finally, it goes to the Vice Rectorate for Students' Affairs, where that information, those equivalences are processed. So the student may have all those equivalences stated in the Complutense's academic records. Okay. Here you have a link with further information, more detailed information about all these processes. Recognition issues for us begin in the first step. The first step is the identification step. It's an informative process. The first thing that we need to know, well, that the applicant and the unit need to know is what are the most the studies that most suits the applicant's academic profile. In order to get that, we send the applicant to the Center for University Information and Counseling. Also, we may send that person to we may give information about the different study options offered by the community of Madrid. And another possibility is to send the applicant to the Student Information Office, where more information about the different studies may be found. Once we have all that, we have studied all the options, then a degree is chosen, and then the applicant is sent to the Student Registration Office of the selected faculty, where the studies are found, and then in any case we may support the person in the process of registration. Okay. Right. Being a bit more specific about accreditation certificates and like, in terms of language accreditation, we have these two. We may send applicants to the Complutense Center for Spanish Language Learning, where they may take an exam to certify their level of Spanish. And if they need English for their studies, the B2 level of English may be certified by the Complutense Center for Foreign Languages. In case of graduate studies, as I already mentioned, we have commissions in each faculty that may provide partial validation of credits. In the case of master or doctorate, we need homologation or equivalences. So in the absence of documentation, we may accept the translation of academic transcripts done by an NGO. There is the individualized evaluation of the application to the program, the title of completed degree and the academic transcript may allow us to give the access permit to study a master or doctorate program at the Complutense. And also the postgrad coordinators may issue a report if the applicant requires it, just to support the specialization of this person. For all these, we have different services and offices. For example, also we have internal agreements with our partners. Most of them are NGOs that help us with all, well, that help the applicants to get what is needed. Also, we have the commissions, the vice rectorate, students of for students affairs, the validations office. For the doctorate, we have the commission for doctoral affairs, and all these processes, all this documentation goes together with a report issued by the Rector's Delegation for Diversity and Inclusion, supporting the application. That is a requirement. So any applicant must pass through all must give the information through the application form. And of course, we support all that process too. In the case of the Ukrainian crisis, it is not the unit or the Rector's Delegation, the body that has taken charge of that issue, but it was directly the Vice Rectorate for Students Affairs that developed a very thorough plan, welcome plan. Here you have the web page, which is in Spanish and Ukrainian. Actually, we have already 24 students registered for bachelor studies, 8 students for master, and 1 student for PhD studies. In this case, because of the situation, some people do not have original academic transcripts or records. So up to until they may get the original documentation, it is possible to sign this personal statement of veracity for the documentation presented for the admission to the welcome program. So the process of beginning studies or continuing those studies here at the Complutense is open. The current challenges in the recognition issues, according to Villor and Romero already in 2020, they pointed out to some of those challenges that are still challenging at the Complutense. The challenges begin in, as I told you, even in the first stage, in the identification stage. First of all, for example, the fact that we may send applicants to this council to search for information. The follow-up of this search of information on the part of the applicant is a bit difficult, right? I think that, we think that it is important to tackle the problem of agreements with secondary education schools, so to deal with with the topic of training, the issue of training refugees, taking the university entrance exams, or training for university entrance exams for people older older people that go to university above or beyond 25 or 45 years old. In the question of recognition, the challenge at the faculty level is still there because faculties are autonomous. A lot of times there is a loss of information, and also applicants depend on the different sensitivities towards each case in each faculty. So also the absence of homologation, legalization, or validation of academic transcripts, degrees, and certificates hinders the access to graduate studies at the US, at the Complutense. Sometimes also the deadlines for different processes at university are incompatible with those of government institutions. So, for example, the delay in the resolution to the red card or refugee status results in students leaving university after more than 1 year studying at the US, at the Complutense. Well, more than 1 year, sometimes even 3 years. Right? So at the end, after 3 years of studying, they don't get the red card, and so they lost. The result is that they lost those 3 years. Okay, systemic challenges that may still find. We have lack of human resources. It's difficult to have a prompt and coordinated internal action if we don't have enough human resources. It would be good to keep and update knowledge of international reality about education issues in each country among university, academic, and administrative staff, because that might improve the management of the Welcome program. And also, another challenge is that, you see, the fact that any support depends on political will of those involved in taking action on issues of forced migration, as we may observe in the case of the effects of Ukrainian war. Well, thank you for your attention. I don't know if I have summarized how the Welcome program at the Complutense works. Here you have some references. Right. I don't know.
Thank you so much,
Laura.
Laura. I don't know if someone have any questions. We have
the internal system.
Yeah, we have a comment to Laura Vega. Many thanks for this valuable information. I have a question related to internal systemic challenge and well-prepared staff, specifically administrative staff less used to this training. Do you offer any opportunity to train administrative staff in order to deal with intercultural issues? I think this would be make a big difference. Thank you. Thank you, Laura Vega.
Thank you, Laura, for your question. Well, that's very interesting because we've in the unit we organize courses on intercultural issues, because it's part of our goal and our line of action line. But we do, I think that Laura is asking more specifically about the systemic challenge in terms of specific information or training about that reality. And in that case, no, We don't provide that because it's not part of our goal, or it's not the unit for diversity and inclusion, the one that has to do that. But it would be good to think about that and provide, or ask a specialist in legal and equivalences issues to give courses to administrative staff about that. But that would be a very administrative issue. Yeah. I don't know if I have answered you.
Okay, thank you, Ana Laura. I have a question. In average, how long is the academic recognition process?
The internal one, it does not take long. It may take about a month, something like that.
Okay.
It has to be very quickly done because students have to begin studying.
Okay. We have another comments in the chat. Thank you, Ana Laura. I feel like all presentations today have touched on the importance of coordination within and between units and on national and international levels. Thank you all. This is a comment from Kaisha, and we have other comments. Many thanks to all of you who presented today. I have to leave now. Have a great day, Julien. That is all. Thank you, Laura, for your presentation. Thank you all for your participation. We will see you next week in our last day of webinar. We have the presence of Manuel Sierra. Maybe Manuel Sierra, do you want to say something?
I don't know. I only came here as listeners, but thank you very much for this nice presentation and for sharing with us your experience at the Universidad Complutense de Madrid. So I'm Manuel Sierra. I am the leader at the UPN of this project, of this INCluSTEM project, where Susana is working very well on organizing this kind of courses. So thanks a lot for very nice presentation.
Okay, thank you.
And see you next Tuesday for the last day at 9 o'clock, from 9 to 11.
See you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.